It's time to get unmasked. Please welcome your host, Pamela Elaine Nichols and Cheryl A.S. Hurley.
Hello, 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 and happy Tuesday. I don't know what's going on. My partner was here and all of a sudden she's gone, but we're just going to go forth and we're going to do the welcome. Welcome to everyone to Unmasked Real Talk Live. This is a place where we get real about topics not often discussed openly. Each week on Unmasked Real Talk Live, we give you, our audience, an opportunity to share your thoughts and opinions about the topic that we unmask. And you have our permission to get real with us in here so you can feel better, look better, and live better out there. Now, recall we started something with our new raffle. Today's raffle is an autographed copy of Dr. Renee Ellison's new book, Fake to Phenomenal: 8 Secrets to Abandon Inauthenticity and Embrace Self-Discovery. Because we've been on this journey about keeping it real and being real and unmasked, we thought it not robbery to have the same raffle again on today. Now, this week's challenge is a fun Live Better challenge. The challenge is to write 5 words to describe your authentic self. On the survey, we asked you to complete. One of the suggestions was to invite guests, and guess what? We have another guest on today, but after not she, but he shares, again, we want you to identify 5 words that describe the authentic you. We want you to post your comments below as we unmask today's topic. Ask your questions so our special male guest, Minister Reginald S. Hurley, can join us in laser coaching you as we go along. So today, I'm going to introduce today's topic and our guest. First and foremost, if you know there's a similarity between the last name. My last name is Hurley and his last name is Hurley. And yes, it is my other half, Reginald S. Hurley, who's going to share with us today. And I just got to share a little bit about him before we have him come forth. He's the guy who always supports and encourages me in everything I do. And sometimes I'm having my girlfriend conversations and we might want to get a male perspective. And people will always say, Cheryl, ask your husband. And every time we would ask him, he would have such powerful words of wisdom. And we know that today he's going to impart to us, the audience. So again, Pam and I, just on maybe 2 weeks ago, we actually had a conversation. It was a hot one. And he happened to come into the space to ask the question. And we said, Pam said, let's ask Reg. Well, we asked Reg, and based upon that conversation, we were like, we need to have him come on the show. So today, we are so glad to have Reginald Hurley come with us today as we unmask the topic, Take the Mask Off so he can see you. Now, there's a quote from Bruce Lee that says, always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself. Do not go out and look for a successful personality and duplicate it, but be who you are. So I want to introduce to our audience, Minister Reginald Hurley, who's going to talk to us a few moments about this topic. Welcome, 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 Minister Hurley.
Hey.
It's all yours. Hey.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to tell everyone to be happy, be resilient, and be encouraged, first of all.
Yes.
See, God wants us to be fruitful in our living. Mm-hmm. And many of us fall back on who we're not or try to be someone that we're not. But God has expressly made you the way that you are so you can be who you are.
So, Minister Hurley, can I pause right there, because I know our viewers have some questions that are coming up from them, and we want you to put your questions and your comments in the chat. But when I thought about the quote that we read from Bruce Lee and what you just said, it sounds like, so we don't have to add anything, do anything, be anything, just be who we are in its authenticity. Is that what you're saying, my brother?
Yep. I'm saying authenticity is the catalyst that our Creator gave us
Okay.
to change what our reality is.
Okay.
Every moment that we stand and say who we are, and then we do something else, our Creator is not pleased with that, and neither is the universe itself.
Mm.
See, because we are indeed the crafters of our own reality. So when we craft our realities, we craft other people's realities. What a person sees is what you have given them in displaying yourself, your spirit to the world. So if I was homeless and I was destitute, that's what I would show. And the only way that I could change is by not thinking that I'm homeless and destitute. And I'm not going to do a bunch of scripture, but I can.
We just want you to talk and keep it real, which is what you're doing.
Okay.
And when we think about your topic, which you said, take the mask off, so we can see you, we want you to unpack that for us. Because we're talking about the authentic. We want you to open that up. Take the mask off so he can see you. So what is the mask? What is the mask that you, from a male perspective, feel that we wear?
Well, many times what happens is when we meet somebody, we meet the it's funny that you use the word mask, the masked up version of the person that we end up with. See, and some men, because of their maturity, are not able to separate the person that they first met from the real person who has given themselves to them. So when I say take the mask off so he can see you, the real you, I'm saying be who you are. You know, I mean, some men do it now, but women tend to put on wigs. They tend to get weaves. They tend to put on eyelashes.
Leave us alone.
They tend to paint their faces up. And what I'm saying, the male perspective is, oh, yes, we do love it when you doll yourselves up. But what happens in the private time when the weave is off, when the eyelashes are gone, when the person that you've displayed is put in the closet, and now here you are yourself standing before not only the man that you're going after, but God. See, a lot of people, and I'm adding males into this equation too, they wear masks to impress the masses. You understand what I'm saying? Men will go out and get a new suit and shape up their faces and dye. Cheryl will tell you, I would dye my hair every week until I came to the conclusion that this is the way that God has made me. I don't have to turn my beautiful silver beard to black to impress anybody, especially not God, because this is the way that God made me. The scripture tells me that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Each one having a unique part of themselves to share with the world. But if you hide it, if you mask it, then the world won't see who you really are.
I got a question for you then.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead, finish your point.
No, I'm not saying not to wear makeup and not to embellish yourself with beauty, because it happened in the scripture and it's part of our daily lives. What I'm saying is there's a persona that you need to put forth, even as you embellish yourself and make yourself beautiful, you know, quote unquote, for that person that you're going after. You know, many times we don't do it for God. We do it for the person that, you know, is looking at us and we're looking at them. But it's important to understand that your personality is your real makeup. Go ahead, Pam.
Mm.
Yeah, I can hear some people asking this question, and it is, but what if the real you isn't what he likes?
Mm.
I'm gonna give you a real simple answer, right? And people, I mean, we programmed our own selves to put forth a certain thing, what we see on TV, what we see in the world. But if you want a person to know what he really likes or what she really likes, ask them.
Mm.
Maya Angelou said, if a person shows you who they are, believe them, right?
Yeah, but I guess I'm asking if we're talking about being your authentic self and allowing him to see the real you.
Right.
And I'm asking, well, when we are our authentic self and we are showing ourselves to be the real self, and we want that person to like us, and they don't like the real me or the real you, what is one to do? That's one of the reasons we put on this facade, because we want it.
You've answered your own question.
Oh,
If they don't like the real you, right? Just as a friend of ours has just written a book, you have to move from fake to phenomenal.
Mm.
No, see, once you start displaying your aura, your existence as who you are, who you really are, those people that like who you really are will gravitate to you. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have to let those people who really like you, I like that phrasing, gravitate to you. If you show them, right? The scripture tells me if you want to make friends, you must first show yourself friendly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to show yourself friendly, you wouldn't put on a Michael Myers mask, would you? Would you dress up like Freddy Krueger? You understand what I'm saying? That's a fake or what's the word I'm looking for? A deceptive way of showing who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're not doing it for parody or for you know, your acting prowess, then why are you doing it? You understand? If the person that you're going that finds you, and I'm trying to stay within what I was taught, if the man that finds you doesn't like the real you, then he's not the one for you.
Okay, so let me take this a step further. And that is, I think we need to talk about the real you that is I want to say lovely and beautiful and positive, because some of us say, well, the real me is annoying. I'm too talkative. I'm too loud. I remember talking to one friend who said, yeah, people just think I'm too loud, and she thinks that's the real her.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we show up to someone that we want to be with, we're thinking, okay, well, I'm loud and he doesn't like loud, so I guess that's not the one for me. And I think that there's something inherently wrong with that thinking, because it's a negative. I think there's something that was said, if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. So I want to talk about, for a moment, if we can, the person who thinks their real self is loud, too much, bossy, those kinds of real you descriptors. Do you think those are the real you the authentic descriptors of a woman who's trying to be real to the guy she likes or wants to like?
Can I give you a life experience of myself?
Yeah.
When my wife and I met each other, I was boastful, conceited. You know, I had long hair. Um, and I thought that I was God's gift to everyone that came in my presence, right?
Oh.
And in our first 7 years, when we had friction, because I desired her and I wanted her to like me, right? I put my strong points on, wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I put my weak points. When I looked at the paper, my weak points outnumbered my strong points. So I had to make an adjustment in my life, right? I had to craft my reality. That's what I always use. I had to craft my reality to fit her reality.
Mm.
And likewise, I believe that she did the same thing. You know, I'm gonna tell you a little story. I love parks and nature and all that kind of stuff. I told Cheryl we were going out, we were going to have a picnic. So I took her to a park. I got a blanket and a picnic basket, and then I looked over at her and she was miserable. Right? And I thought I was doing the right thing. She told me, and see, this answers your question. She told me, she said, I'm a city girl. I like concrete. I like cityscape. I don't like grass because my heels get stuck in grass. You understand what I'm saying? But that moment of truthfulness elevated our relationship. You understand what I'm saying? See, the only true measure of a relationship is how honest you are with one another. If you're wearing a mask, the person that you're going after or that's going after you cannot see the real you. They can't see the real you until you let them in to see the real you. So I say start as the real you in the beginning and then, you know, elevate it to the point that you want it to be.
I see. I like that. I like that. That's helpful. We have some comments here.
We do.
I wanted to read them. Oh, the first one was funny. Oh, no, not the hair. He went after the hair first off in the first 3 minutes. What's another one, Cheryl?
Another one is that we're trying to impress and win that person over. So sometimes people make that shift because they're trying to do that. You want to take this?
Yeah. Most people don't show the real them at first. They're trying to feel their way in the relationship. Oh, interesting perspective. Okay.
Very interesting. Excuse me. And then someone said, that was me. And they were referring earlier when you were talking about making the adjustments. They were like, that was me, but I've learned to tune it down.
Or tone it down, maybe.
Tone it down and shape it in love. I love that. I love that.
That's good.
Yeah,
and we've got, we love, you're going to love this one, Reg. I love hearing from a man's perspective.
Yes. And Ever who said that Pam and I could be so transparent and said there's been several topics that we've talked about and we've tapped his shoulder and said, can you give us a perspective from a man's viewpoint? Because it's really important. It is really, really important. But again, because we want to be conscious of the time and we don't want to miss this opportunity, we want to ask our unmasked question. And our unmasked question is, do you show him the real you? Do you show him the real you? And for our audience, we want you to put your comments in there. But you know, that's so key. And you know, I want to ask you, Pam, while we have Reggie here, and even though we've had several conversations, the three of us, he shared, y'all. Look, I had to let him know I'm a city girl. Don't be taking me to no grass and my heels getting stuck. I was real. But when you think about it, Pam, do you recall a time where you feel as though you showed him who you were from the very onset?
I'm going to say no to that because I didn't even know the real me. And this is really interesting. In the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking about, I've been married twice. So in the first marriage, when I was 18, we stayed married to I was 22. That was 4 years. I didn't know who the real me was. So I'm not sure what I was showing him. I think I was showing him an erratic, immature, insecure person. And then in my second marriage, again, I don't think I really knew who I was, but about 18 years into the marriage, I started understanding who the real me was. And then when I started showing the real me, that's when all quote unquote hell broke loose. And not too later after that, did we get a divorce. So to your point, Reggie, if you show yourself the real you and somebody doesn't like it, that means that person is not for you.
It's not for you.
It's not for you.
Let me tell you a story. I have a friend, and I'm not going to use his real name, so I'm going to call him Jose. Right? And Jose and his girlfriend, they had a great relationship while they were single, because both of them were wearing masks. I knew that Jorge wasn't the way that he was, and I knew that since I knew his girlfriend, I knew that she wasn't the way that she was. So, to make a long story short, they got married, they had 3 kids, and all of a sudden she decided after 3 kids to show him who she really was. Well, he detested her. And his whole being told, he came truthful as you can be. He said, "You are not the person that we first got together with."
I've heard that.
You know, he said, "You have changed into something else, and I don't like it." And he told her.
Oh, so, my goodness.
Long story short, they ended up getting a divorce. All I'm saying is, and this goes out to all the women, if your hair is short, if you believe that your hair is not the way that most of these ladies out here believe that their hair should look, then it's your prerogative to change it. But if you want to find someone that likes you for who you are, take what you have and make it look good to yourself.
First.
Right? Make it look good to yourself first. And I used to have a phone message that said, "Believe in yourself." Right? For this is the mandate that God has given each of us. Right? Not only to believe in him, but to believe in yourself. Right? Believing in yourself entails, well, the man upstairs says that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, so I must look good. One of my first girlfriends, when we were like 15 and 16, most people said that she was ugly. You know, she was dark skinned, she was cross-eyed, right? But she loved herself the way she was.
Wow.
I ran into her lately. She got 5 kids. She got a man that adores her. And to him, she's the most beautiful woman that he ever met. He's happy.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But she never changed who she was.
Wow.
And I heard one of you say earlier, she was patient enough to let a man find her.
That's powerful. That is so powerful, Reg. What we have to do, because our producer who's on, she's on point. She just let us know we got a few minutes. And while we want to continue this conversation, and we might have to have you come back to kind of continue the discussion, we need to wrap up with your 3 takeaways so we can do our raffle. So can you give our audience your 3 takeaways that you shared with us?
Well, first of all, I have to put this in here. I know this is what I tell you, but the first thing that a man wants is he wants to, a person or any person, they want them to be faithful. Mm-hmm. They want to be loved, mm-hmm. right? They want to be praised, mm-hmm. right? They want peace, right? Mm-hmm. And two other ingredients that are so important that most people fall short on. One of them is forgiveness, and the other one is accepting who your mate is.
Wow.
I think that's the only takeaway we're going to be able to hold, because in 2 minutes we've got to hang up the show. Reggie, that takeaway alone was enough for 3 solid ones. So let's hit the raffle right now and see what people get.
Yes.
All right, producer, take it away.
Oh, somebody said they bring your hubby to the next one.
Ooh! Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay, Congratulations.
I think for sure, Laverne, we need your address, but for sure, Reggie, we want to know if you can come back next week and give your other 2 takeaways.
Yeah,
we'll get the other takeaways. Will you be willing to come back next week so we can finish this conversation?
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay. So to the person who said, I'm bringing my hubby on the next live, we're gonna do this again next week.
Yes. Right. Thank you all for joining us, and because we want to be mindful of time and operate in integrity, this has been a good conversation, but we're going to continue it next week. We want you to share it. Again, share it so other sisters can hear from a male perspective. Until next week, we want you to remember our raffle, our challenge for this week, which is a Live Better Challenge. Make sure that you chime into the Facebook group. Anything that we need you to know, we're going to put it there. But until next week, we want you to feel better. We want you to look better and look better for you, might we add. And lastly, we want you to live better. Until next week, have an amazing week. We love you.
Bye.